And finally tonight, a unique holiday concert in Chicago.
The Lieutenant Governor's office wants to keep shoppers from getting scammed by what he calls price scanner mistakes.
And this Ameren rate hike is on top of an already crunched budget. Well, an economic impact study on the loss of the 183rd Fighter Wing is complete. And Springfield Mayor Tim Davlin says the numbers add up to one word: devastating.
Stopped into that Cook Street post office today, walked in there, stood about 5 minutes in line and said, phooey.
I was at the one on Wabash, and I'm telling you, the automated post office is the way to go. I was in and out, didn't have to wait through that long line.
Good advice.
Elizabeth, Jerry, this is one of these scenes you really have to see to believe. While most people are warm at home at this hour, just about 100 yards south of me, some of Springfield's homeless are on the streets, but they will admit that's by their own choice.
The streets of the capital city were almost deserted by 7 p.m. A heavy snow continued falling, piled high in places by plows that were nowhere to be seen. But near the front entrance of Lincoln Library, just a stone's throw from City Hall, Ray Good was preparing his bed for the night.
I've lived down here since December.
Good wasn't alone. A few feet away, literally at the front door of the library, 3 other homeless men were covered up against the cold.
Sometimes I worry about myself, and sometimes I worry about my friends, but it's something that we just have to do.
Earlier in the day, we visited Springfield's Salvation Army homeless shelter and the Helping Hands homeless shelter. The Army's Ron Beanie told us we should not be seeing the scene being played out in front of the library.
A lot of times they push through the harder parts of the year, sleeping at the library, under the overpasses or what have you. This is to the point where I just don't think it's feasibly possible.
Good told us he had tried overnighting at Helping Hands but felt trapped.
You feel like you're in jail. There's no freedom.
The Helping Hands administrator said severe weather doesn't force everyone off the streets.
There are always going to be those few select that choose to stay out and muster through the cold no matter how bad it gets.
Something Good agrees with, even though he admits this kind of freedom could cost him his life.
Now, by some estimates, just over 100 of Springfield's homeless are in a shelter tonight. No telling how many, like Good, are on the streets. Live in downtown Springfield, Mark Toma, ABC News Channel 20.
After just a few minutes, it became obvious that Milo the tabby was not going to get himself out of this fix. 70 feet up and far out on a tree limb, Milo would only venture a short distance on the skinny branch where he had perched for the last 5 days.
They got 2 dogs next door. They let him out for a run. I probably scared him, and up the tree he went.
Hearing of Milo's plight, a local tree trimmer showed up this morning, confidently saying he could rescue the 1-year-old cat. Only one problem: fully extended, the boom on his truck reached 60 feet in the air, 10 feet short of Milo. So Earl Throop went out on a limb, literally, to save a frightened feline.
Normally we don't go that high in a tree and put ourselves in risk on the limbs that he was in.
But a few minutes later, Milo ventured within arm's reach, and Throop grabbed him.
Fortunately, started walking toward me, and I was able to pet him, and then he walked back out a little farther. I'm like, oh, come on. And he got in hand's reach, and I grabbed him, and probably the hardest part was getting him in the backpack. He didn't want to go in there neither.
Safe on the ground, Milo was back in the arms of a grateful owner who says she's learned a valuable lesson.
He's going to have a good life from now on, and we are going to get him declawed. He will not climb another tree in his life, I promise.
Mark Toma, ABC News Channel 20.
It stands out in the middle of a bean field just south of Highway 54 near the Sangamon County line. At the end of an impromptu muddy road, it's the latest project of John Homeyer's by Petro Inc.
This well here would cost us, if we drill and complete, about $100,000. But with reward now at $60 a barrel, we can go out and take this big risk.
A big risk, but a big payoff if this well produces like others by Petro has drilled.
We had a well come in this year, come over 800 barrels a day at $60 a barrel. You see what kind of income we got.
Homeyer's son, Skip, says the company strikes oil on average every 4th well.
It is high risk drilling, but the risk reward is great right now because of the price of oil.
A price that has a lot of farmers calling companies like by Petro.
Everybody wants a well drilled. They call us and begging us to have to come drill a well.
But the potential of what you've just seen is huge. This well, known as Park 2L, was at the same stage as that drilling site just about 7 months ago. Since then, it's produced more than 50,000 barrels of crude oil at $60 a barrel. So what cost just over $100,000 to sink has already earned more than $3 million. Near Mechanicsburg, Mark Toma, ABC News Channel 20.
The first hint of the homecoming Riverton had in store for Josh Robertson might well have been this tavern sign just outside of town on Highway 54. From there, all along the route to his home 2 miles away, more signs and dozens of yellow ribbons from a woman who said she was Robertson's mom's best friend.
I've gone through 9,000 to 1,000 feet of yellow ribbon. I can't count how many bows that's been, but they're from one end of Riverton to the other.
The limo used to fetch Josh back from the St. Louis airport pulled into town well after dark. Stopping at a nearby supermarket parking lot, it was met by a police and fire escort.
We did it just to kind of show our appreciation to what he's done for us and what he has went through for everybody in this community, in this country.
And what did a 20-year-old wounded by a roadside bomb in Iraq think of all of this?
I just expected to come home and see a couple friends. I just big surprise to see most of the town out here. Just welcome me back, and I don't know what else to think. That's a lot. Thank you to all of them.
Just seeing him, it's nice to have him home. Nice to have him home. We had a limo ride home, and he took one chair, kicked his feet up, I took the other, and we just talked and talked and talked.
Next on ABC News Channel 20, an explosion rocks a small town after a natural gas pipeline blowout. I'm Scott Adkins with the latest on the investigation next.
Plus, Auburn residents say there are dog snatches in the neighborhood. Coming up, what police are saying about this.
And the American Cancer Society's big annual fundraiser is just months away, but some teams are already hard at work.
We'll show you how. This is Nightside. Your local news starts right now.
A fireball seen in this exclusive video for miles as flames light up the Sunday morning sky. This the scene after a natural gas explosion singes homes, barns, and trees within a half mile. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ashley Glass.
And I'm Mark Toma. Despite those dramatic images, thankfully no one was harmed during the explosion.
For an update, we check in now with ABC News Channel 20's Scott Adkins. He's in the newsroom. Scott.
Some tense moments in Pawnee this morning. Mark and Ashley in the newsroom. Scott Adkins, ABC News Channel 20. Ashley.
Some amazing video there. Thanks a lot for that, Scott. And over 100 emergency personnel responded to the explosion. The sheriff's office says the blaze was contained within an hour.
Illinois State Police are still looking into the cause of what they're calling this suspicious fire from Friday in Jacksonville. Detectives say it's suspicious because of the chemicals found inside. Police say the victim in this blaze was taken to St. John's Hospital with severe burns over 30% of his body. No word on the victim's condition tonight. And the investigation continues at this hour into the cause of a massive fire that ripped through 2 vacant warehouses on Chicago's west side this morning. Firefighters say the 4-alarm fire broke out about 6:30 this morning in a 3-story and an adjoining 5-story building. A Chicago Fire Department spokesman says it took more than 2 hours to extinguish the blaze.
In other news, dog owners in Auburn say they're worried and believe a number of dogs were stolen in their neighborhood and then found dead.
However, police say it's still too soon to tell if there really is a dog snatcher roaming the town or if it's something else.
ABC News Channel 20's Yvette Yun joins us now live in the studio with more on this story. Yvette.
Police say they have for dog fighting.
Okay, Yvette, into news out of the Capitol now. Representatives from colleges will also be added to the Illinois Terrorism Task Force, which develops and implements Homeland Security strategy.
The American Cancer Society's Relay for Life is less than 2 months away, but different teams are already hard at work raising money. Tonight, one of those teams met at the Springfield Hilton for a night of socializing. During the actual relay, teams, one of which is hosted by News Channel 20's own Paris Irvin, raise money for cancer research by walking laps at the IDOT parking lot throughout the night.
We need to find a cure for the cancer.
The actual Relay for Life is held overnight on June 16th. The highlight is a luminary ceremony at 9 p.m.
A traffic note now for Springfield commuters, 3rd Street by way of Rafter Street.
With exceptionally warm temperatures across central Illinois today, we came. Mark, Ashley.
Thanks, Joe. A new exhibit on the 16th president's wife of her life, including the death of her son. It
was a chance to look at some really great home improvement projects while helping a good cause. That was the idea behind the Junior League's 17th annual Kitchens in Bloom tour this afternoon. The tour was held in 4 homes in Panther Creek and the reserve subdivisions, and visitors say they learned helpful tips on home improvement.
I think just seeing all the different houses, how different the styles are and how different the decor are, it just gives you a lot of ideas of how you could do things totally differently.
The tour cost $10 to $15, but all the money raised goes to support local social service agencies.
Artists from all over Central Illinois are at the event, and this year Shepherd expects the total will be even higher.
Well, before you turn out the lights and hit the sack tonight, there may be a way to make sleepy time more meaningful. This weekend is the National Annual Dream Hotline, and the School of Metaphysics wants to tell you what your dreams mean. Students and teachers there are on standby 24 hours a day to answer questions and interpret dreams.
People have had dreams in their life that have haunted them or frightened them, and they don't know what they mean. And when they find out what they mean, it makes a big difference. It often will bring them peace of mind or some kind of resolve.
Now, if you'd like to have your dreams interpreted, the hotline is open until midnight. The number to call is 217-344-2270.
I don't know, dreams can be a little strange. I'm not sure if I want to know what they mean all the time.
I don't think I do either. Well, stay with us. There's still more news ahead here on Nightside.
Welcome back, everyone. Almost every movie at the 9th Annual Ebert Fest in Champaign was sold out, and organizers say that just goes to show people love Roger Ebert.
Absolutely. On the last day of his 13-film film festival, Roger Ebert was still signing autographs. Many were surprised that he showed up this year after complications from his cancer surgery left him unable to speak, but Roger's wife says he wasn't going to miss this one for all the world, and the success of the festival shows how many people respect him.
What do you think, Joe? 2 thumbs up on the weather today?
Absolutely, and then some. As highs sneak back up into the mid to upper 70s.
That is how you start a work week, 86 and sunny.
Yes, love it.
I can't wait. Thanks, Joe.
I'll enjoy it.
I will.
Okay.
Thanks, Joy. Stay with us. Mike Berman has your local sports report coming up next. And it wouldn't be too much to say it doesn't get any better than this.
No, for this time of the year,
the
perfect.
newscast.
Oh, that too.
Well, no, won't get into that one. But weather-wise, though, perfect. 86, lots of sunshine tomorrow. 82, maybe some showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday. Seasonal temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. More showers and thunderstorms Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as temperatures once again creep back up into the mid to upper 70s.
Looks pretty good, except for the weekend.
Yeah.
But we can handle it.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right,
Joe.
thanks, Joe. Well, that's our news for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Don't forget, sunrise this morning begins tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Have a good night.